call to order the meeting for Wednesday, October 22nd. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Quick explanation of the procedures this evening. We'll be hearing the cases first after everyone has been sworn in that plans on speaking. They will read the case, then they'll ask for a closing of the public portion after the applicants and anyone that's for or against the appeal is heard. And then we will then, as a board, will make a decision either by asking questions and then making a decision, or if it's clear enough, we may or may not ask questions, but usually we do. After that, we'll have unfinished business, which we see none on our docket tonight, then move to approving our minutes and then announcing the next meeting. Do we have a roll call vote, please? A roll call?
Mr. Bartolt.
Here.
Ms. Owens. Mr. Shupp. Mr. Sidow. Mr. Oh my gosh. Mr. Roberto. That was really hard for some reason.
I noticed we have two absentees tonight. We have one alternate. If we ask that Mr. Thiemann be seated. And they've got your name plaque over here. Okay, with that, if you plan on speaking this evening, you please stand and raise your right hand. You swear or affirm you'll tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth before this Board of Zoning Appeals. Say I do. Thank you. You may be seated. So with that, the first case this evening would be BZA 25-28. The applicant is requesting a variance to allow a fence in the front yard of a corner lot. This is in a single-unit residential neighborhood. Zoning district is in 9101 Coogan Drive. Does the staff have a presentation?
I do.
Thank you.
And I'll give mine and then we'll ask for yours. Okay. BZA-25-28 at 9101 Coogan Drive. This is a variance request in the SUR single-unit residential zoning district. The applicant is Charles Rogers and also the property owner. The property is located on a corner lot at an intersection of Coogan Drive and Chopin Drive. A 6-foot privacy fence was installed and extends into the front yard area along the property line and up to the sidewalk. The fence encloses in a grassy area to the west side of the lot and provides additional enclosed yard space due to the limited rear yard, and that's pretty typical for corner lots. The obstruction limits visibility for vehicles backing from the driveway and for pedestrians traveling along an adjacent sidewalk, and we have a demonstration in a moment of that. The applicant has indicated that the intent of this fence is to provide privacy and improve the usability of the backyard. So this is kind of a zoom in of the property. So you can see that it's largely a residential area and it's right on a corner lot. It is a smaller lot, and most corner lots are smaller lots. You have two front yards, one here and one here. So you either don't have much of a side yard or you don't have much of a backyard. In this case, there's really no side yard and a very small backyard. So if you can see, the major intersection is Pippin and Compton over here. So everything on this side we have, where the property is indicated by a star, is pretty dense residential. When we zoom in, we can see that this house is on a corner lot. There's a house on the corner lot on Neal Drive as well, and it's along Chopin. So this is outdated imagery, I'll say up front. There's trash seen in this aerial imagery, and that has been cleaned up before the property owner moved in. They have done a very nice job, in my opinion, of cleaning up the property. So I made a demonstration. These moving arrows are showing somebody that could be walking, riding a bike, a little kid riding a big wheel down this sidewalk. The yellow outline portion is privacy fence. There was an error in the packet. This yellow portion on the back is not actually privacy fence, but the part that's relevant to the driveway, which is outlined by where my cursor is in fact privacy fence. And it's along the driveway here. So if someone parked in the driveway and went to back out of the driveway, at this position, you're looking at a fence out of your left window. You can't see anything on the sidewalk, let alone the road. When you back out a little further, you're still just looking at a fence. And you can see the bumper of this car, which is to scale, is already over the sidewalk. And you still can't see if anyone's coming down the sidewalk. This is the point at which you could see the sidewalk, but at this point, tragedy could have already struck. While this is unlikely that you'd be backing out at the same time as someone walking down the sidewalk, it still is possible. and in the opinion of our entire department, a completely unacceptable risk. So there's just some pictures of the property. This is the privacy fence. The driveway is along the privacy fence, as you saw in the last graphic. The house has been cleaned up. It looks very nice. But the driveway does raise the intensity of the lot significantly. It's hard to even envision grass there because it's so closed off to the street, let alone the privacy or the danger issues for pedestrians and passing motorists. The red line indicates where the driveway is. So this is just another view of if someone were coming down the sidewalk. They may not even be able to see the car backing up either. Another view of the fence. And this shows it from the rear. Miss Petty took these pictures yesterday. So this is how we knew there's not actually privacy fence along the back portion of the lot. The applicant has stated they wanted to extend their yard and have some privacy from this neighbor back here. So the fact that there's not even a privacy fence there is confusing. So the zoning issue we have, it's staff's opinion, this is the zoning issue, table 4.4.2A. The location standards of fences, privacy fences can only encroach into the side yard up to 50% of the sidewall of the building. And these are the Duncan factors. In Ohio, we use the Duncan factors that were legally established. These are 7 factors that help us decide whether or not a variance should be recommended for approval or denial, and I highlighted the 3 I believe are most significant. It's staff's opinion the request is substantial in nature. It's substantial because it's very intense. It's staff's opinion the property owner who purchased the property did not have knowledge of the zoning. They were very surprised to learn that this was an issue. I'm not sure if they put the fence up or bought it and the fence had just been put up, but I'm sure that'll be addressed by the applicant. And number 7, it's staff's opinion the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would not be observed and substantial justice would not be done by granting this request. So for that recommendation, for that reason, staff recommendation is denial. Mr. Roberto.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Want to come and give your name and address for the record, please?
Charles Rogers, 9101 Coogan Avenue.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, so the fence, we actually, it came with the purchase, so we didn't put it up per se ourselves. We have a 5-year-old son. We would like for him to play in the backyard without, traffic and, it's weird people walking around saying, come here, little kid, or whatever. And they also run the stop sign in front of our house almost every day. They actually knocked it over. They just put a new stop sign in front of our house. Since I've had the fence up, there hasn't been any glass or trash in the yard. Keep it up. I cut the grass and everything. I was wondering if I could propose like a safety mirror or something. But I just really like the fence, and I drove past a couple other houses on the end. They have privacy fences also. So, you want to see?
You'd have to leave your phone with me. You want to do that?
I can leave it with you.
I mean, I can't take it as evidence because you literally would have to leave the phone as evidence.
Right.
So if you had printouts, I could take them, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then with the neighbor behind us, he also has a trailer back there that somebody was occupying, and it's like creepy. Every time she comes home, the guy's either looking over the fence and, boxers, t-shirt.
Okay. Ma'am, do you have anything to say?
So I just want to say that we moved.
Before you start, just name and address for the record.
I'm sorry, Champel Jones, 9101 Coogan Drive.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to say we closed on the house July 1st. We moved in July 4th. So in the midst of us moving in, he was at work, and I currently got off work before him. So I would go home and, take boxes in, and I would always see a guy in the back. That was the main concern that I spoke to Mr. David about. And he would just be in the back on the fence. Basically, I don't know if he was like watching the traffic or whatever, but he would be standing on the fence. So I felt it was kind of creepy because it can be the morning, afternoon, night, and he's standing watching, me go in the house. That was creepy. So in the midst of us moving in with our closing, our seller disclosed that he would be putting up the fence starting the 7th. We wanted a privacy fence. We have a 5-year-old. We were told by the neighbors when they first seen the builders coming to build the yard that we wouldn't, did we have a zoning certificate? Did we have this? Did we have that? We didn't know about it at the beginning until they said something. So it was more so them coming over asking because they wanted a fence or whatever the case may be before we moved there. So when, I don't remember the officer name, Stevens?
Stan Schmall, and can I request you stand back from the
Yeah,
mic a
I'm
little?
sorry.
It's echoing.
I don't remember the officer who came, but I looked out the window and seen him come. So I went outside and I seen him taking pictures, and I said, "Excuse me, why are you taking pictures?" He said, "Someone called on you guys' fence," whatever the case may be. Basically, I didn't know. So he said, "If you come to the office and pay the zoning fee, the property or whatever to be able to have it built, we want put an extra whatever on it." So I said, "Let me get in the shower and I will be on my way to come." I came. When I came, I spoke to Dave and I told him what was going on prior to our 6 days being there with the guy. And at the end of the day, we already discussed this closing with the seller as far as the privacy fence. Remind you, if you have the metal, I don't know the exact name, but the chain link fence, you have dogs walking past that are big as deers. We've seen, I had a family member bit by a dog by a chain link fence where they can jump over those big dogs. I don't know, Caruso or something that look like that look like deers. That's scary. I'm sorry. That's scary. So we have a 5-year-old. The time that we've been there and sat on the front porch, we see a lot of action, meaning everyone runs that stop sign, whether it's morning, noon, and night. We can't have a front fence, but we can have a back fence. So if we can't sit in our front yard and have our 5-year-old play, and we see people running this stop sign every day and seeing that it got knocked over while we were there, why won't we want our sons to play in the backyard? So when it got built, we actually asked them for the driveway part to the side. Our seller wasn't aware of putting it next to the back part of the fence to block the neighbors, okay? Because that's where I wanted it at, because I seen this man. So at the end of the day, we had them build the fence because that's what we asked for. So once the fence was built and he came, they never came back to finish up the rest of the fence. When I spoke to Dave, he said, yes, you guys could have had the back of the fence done, okay? We didn't know about any zoning fee or anything like that. So with that being said, as much danger we see in the front, why wouldn't we want it in the back? We want it in the back for our 5-year-old to be able to play, whether we want to put a little play area back there with a slide, whatever, in the back. We don't have it in the front, which I've seen in Colerain Township where their fence is coming from the front of the house, coming down to the end to the other street and coming down. But they're complaining about our fence when I feel like it's a lot of other issues in Colerain Township as far as what's going on. And this fence, I don't feel like it's bothering nobody. Yet and still, after that, once they put the fence up, there was no car parked. As you see, she took a picture yesterday. I was the only one pulling in the driveway. I don't pull in the driveway. I haven't pulled in since they put the fence up. The fence is actually so tight to where if you see where the black labels are, it's locked in. So it's kind of tight for you to even be able to pull back there. I don't pull back there. I pull in the front of the house and go in through the front. So nobody parks there. I spoke to Juliana, and I told her, I said, well, maybe we can put a motion light for nighttime with the mirror. But we doesn't park in the driveway anymore due to the fact of the man being in the camper and to the safety issue that Dave suggested. So I never parked back in the driveway. So it's like everybody that coming home, if we're sitting on the front porch, they're stopping. Hey, I love your fence. Do you have the number to the guys who did it? Everybody in Colerain Township wants their fence like that as of now. Whether they're on the edge, I don't know where they stay, or in the middle, but they like the way the fence that is built up. We love it. Everybody says they love it. So for one person to call and basically, however they said it or whatever the case may be, as far as the fence, that same person has came to our home that's not here today, and was willing to write a letter to you guys to let you know that the fence is okay, this, that, and that they want the same people to do theirs. So at this point, it's like, okay, at the beginning, it was this. Now it comes to this once it's completely done. And I don't feel like we should have to move our fence. It's a privacy fence. We want privacy. We just bought a new home. Yes, we want privacy, and yes, we want our son to be able to play in the backyard. He can't play in the front because it's really dangerous in the front. There's no speed bumps. There's no anything. And for us to come outside and see a stop sign bent down in the middle of our front, that makes it unsafe. And I understand you guys saying something about a safety issue coming out the driveway, but we haven't parked right there. I told Julian, I said, you guys can come put a no parking, whatever, at the end of the driveway, whatever you want to do. But I don't feel like nothing's wrong with the fence being right there. And like I said, there's multiple. I don't know who goes out to check different Colerain townships, but it's multiple side homes, corner lots, whatever you call it, that has privacy fences. And there's also people that have front yard, not privacy, but front yard fences. And I was told by Dave that you couldn't have front yard fences. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, someone called on us, and that's why you guys came out to take a look. And it wasn't you guys that came out to take a look that called and just ride past the community and see. It was somebody else, meaning the neighbor. But like I said, that same neighbor has wrote a letter today for us who called and saying it's okay now. And now we're here because of that.
Okay, $500.
We paid to come to court to be able to do over it.
My son and everything, and it's like
That's too much.
everything that's going on in the world today. Like, people work hard for their money. Like, I just want to be peaceful with my neighbor. I go to work, come home, don't bother anybody. Leave it at that. Like, even when we move, she's like, babe, the trailer, the man. I'm like, look, that has nothing to do with us.
And that's why he's saying that, because he wasn't the one pulling in the driveway. I was pulling in the driveway before the fence was put up. I'm sorry. Before the fence was put up, I was pulling in the driveway. So, yes, it's scary for me as a woman, and I'm coming in with my child. So, yes, that's scary. And also, like I said, we see the dogs walking past. I never seen nobody walking with a child on a bike, a scooter, a three-wheeler, none of that. But I have seen grown adults on skateboards and bikes that ride in the middle of the street, not a sidewalk. So at the end of the day, if you look at the driveway and you're getting ready to come out, who's going to fly out of the driveway? Our neighbors across the street literally is parked at the end of our driveway by their driveway. We're not going to be able to hit the gas and come out. And I never pull in. I always back in. So the picture that Dave put up, that's a person that pulls in the driveway. I never pull in. I always back in the driveway. But I don't park there anymore. And I wish you guys would have took a picture of the front and seen that a black car is in the front of the driveway. I haven't pulled in that driveway since the fence was getting done, and that was July 7th. Now, when Stevens, I may be mistaking his name, but when Stevens came, my son had just pulled up to run in and get something. So his first picture did have my son in the driveway. But after that, when the officer came and spoke to me, no one parked in my driveway. I let it be known, when you come to my house, do not pull in my driveway, because they already feel like it's a safety issue. So that's the main thing. Like I said, dogs come past. You have creepy people walk past that can see up under the chain link fence. Come here. You have those type of people. You have a lot going on right now in Colerain.
They was throwing glass in the yard that could cut my son and everything. But like I said, since this has been up, no glass, no trash. I drive trucks for a living. I mean, not that it means anything, but I have a Class A CDL, so getting out and looking, very cautious of the way I drive. Parking right there. We have the letter.
I'll review the letter. We'll see if it's something admissible. Because the person's not here to represent it, and I can't submit this into evidence. It's not been notarized that anybody, but I appreciate that, but I can't submit it as an evidence, but thank you.
Maybe, I didn't mean to cut him off, but maybe it wasn't notarized because what he stated to us was, when you're in the biker club or whatever the case may be, and you in a certain percentage, it sounds like you're telling, like you're snitching. That's the words that he used. That you're snitching, you're telling. He didn't want to be known for that. So at the end of the day, he said he wasn't coming. And I'm like, okay, well, I seen your guy's address is on there, and I was wondering why his address was on there when we talked. It currently said chopping, meaning the side street. So it's like, okay, you called and complained about it, but now at the end of the day, you're here writing a letter basically saying your fence is okay, and we want the same people to do our fence like that. So I asked him, I'm like, well, did you guys try to do it before we moved here? Like, we're new homeowners. When you trying to buy a home, they don't tell you everything like that. As far as, oh, where you're in Colerain Township, you need to get a zoning fee. We never heard anything about that. This came with the home as far as putting the privacy fence in with our home. So we didn't know anything about that. They came over and said something about that and about we had to pay for concrete for the trailer, this, that. Did they make you pay? That was the main concern was, did we pay? So like I said, once the officer came to the home, I came that same day to try to come up here and pay for our building fee that you guys require. So now that we're in the home, like I said, everybody that ride past Colerain, they're basically stopping and see us. I'm always sitting on the porch when I get home from work. We love your fence. Do you have the people number? Our fence is old, this, that, whatever. But I can guarantee you when you coming down chopping and you come through that stop sign and you look over to your left and you look at the neighbor's home and you look over and be like, wow. But you look over and see ours, that's really nice. And at the end of the day, yes, we want to bring property to our home. I mean, basically like make it look nicer because we had a lot of people, oh, this house, this house, that. It looks nice now compared to what it was. So I feel like it makes the neighborhood looks better than it was before with me not even seeing it. Just from the people who stayed there for 20, 30 years, 15 years and seen the way the houses have been remodeled. So like I said, the front yard, we can't get it fenced in. We have a 5-year-old that loves to play outside, drives big trucks to drive. We can't do that in the front yard because we can't be fenced in. And like I said, it's very scary for people that drive past. I mean, morning, noon, and night, I have videos of people running the stop sign. You run a stop sign and you get ready to crash, you can be right up in our yard. And we can't have a front fence right there. And what if my child is out there riding his scooter or bike, whatever you guys said, riding the bike right there and they run a stop sign? So it's better for the backyard. And like I told Dave, I said we wanted to get the backyard across their fence done. We still want to cover up the backyard because of what was going on back there. They have a dog. Like I said, dogs can jump fences. Dogs are very vicious. I don't trust them. People say, oh, my dog don't bite. The dog has teeth. The dog bites. So with us having a privacy fence, if someone walk on their dog and they're big as a deer, that dog can jump that fence, meaning if it's a chain link fence at 4 feet, that dog can jump it because the dog is bigger than me. What are we going to do? If the police happen to stop a car and they get out and run, a lot of people like to jump the fence to keep running. They can't jump our fence. You'll be able to catch them right there before trying to jump a fence. No, that's really real. They can't jump that fence. Now, if it's a chain link fence, they can jump and keep going down. What if your officers can't jump a fence? They'll be stopped right there. They'll be stopped right there.
This is your time, ma'am, and sir. We're listening. We'll when you're done, we'll ask other people to speak. So
You can speak.
no, when you're done, I'm giving you an opportunity.
I'm done.
Okay.
It's just been a little,
I hear the passion.
Yes.
So he came and talked to us, so now I guess he's reconsidering everything. That he doesn't have a problem with the fence.
Okay. And at this point, we're hearing your side of the story, and then we'll be hearing from anyone else in the audience that wants to speak for or against it. So if your presentation is done, we'll ask you to be seated, and then we'll ask the audience if anyone else wants to speak for or against it, okay?
Mr. Roberto, prior to that, can I clarify?
I was going to do some clarification. You can have a front yard fence. It can be a chain link fence. You can have a backyard fence. It can be chain link fence, and as long as it's within the requirements of zoning. So there was a little bit of just miscommunication there. You can't have a fence in the front yard. So I would go ahead and get your facts clearer on that one, because I think if you wanted a fence in your front yard for your kids to play, for your child, I don't know if you had multiples, but that's something as an option. And something else?
Yeah, you can have a wrought iron, a split rail, or Kentucky board. You can no longer have a chain link. That's kind of new.
Okay.
Well,
But if we grandfathered in, that would be why. So if it's new, this is the new rules.
Yeah, and the other thing, we had not heard prior about that they didn't park in the driveway. We would like the board and the applicant to consider if there is any kind of question about approval, whether or not removal of the driveway could lead to approval if the fence is moved back a little bit. So I just wanted to put that out there because I was not aware the driveway is basically not used. So,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. So we will continue on to the public portion of this. So is there anyone in the audience that is for? I see no one else signed up for this. Anyone against this appeal? I see none. Can we have a motion to close the public portion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion's been made. Any second?
Second it.
Second, any discussion? Roll call vote?
Mr. Bartolt.
Yes.
Mr. Sydow.
Here.
Mr. Thiemann. And Mr. Roberto.
Yes. So now we're at that question part. So we get to speak now. And so if you both want to come back up to the podium, we'll ask you some questions, if that's all right? Come on up. And each one of the board members may ask you a question, and they may not, so it's up to their discretion. Mr. Went on my brain. Mr. Sydow.
Thank you.
I have their names put on my sheet for that reason.
Thank you. You mentioned it in the very beginning of your conversation that you didn't put up the fence. Who did put up the fence? And why didn't they notify you that,
Well, ask one question at a time. So that, for who put up the fence would be the first question.
okay,
Guy that sold us the house put the fence up.
the guy who sold you the house put the fence up?
Yes, sir. We had contractors put the fence up, yes.
And all he said was it needed to be 5 feet away. So that was the main thing. Longest when they put it up, he just kept on saying it had to be 5 feet away. Meaning from the sidewalk, meaning from the backyard neighbors. That's the only thing we were told. It had to be 5 feet away. So that's where we got from it. We didn't know. So that's where we got from the seller. But I'm letting it be known.
Okay.
The back fence at the back of the house is not an issue. It's the one there at the sidewalk that is the issue, and that is a real problem and a real concern for people walking up and down the sidewalk. I know I heard you say that not many people go up and down the sidewalk, but it could be tomorrow somebody goes up and down the sidewalk, and I know you don't park in the driveway. So it's possible that things could be done with the driveway and perhaps back the fence up a little bit. Don't know. But that's all. That's all I have.
Okay, so I have a question. With us saying that for nighttime, we can put the motion light with the mirror, you can't consider that?
No,
At
sir.
at this
No.
point, ma'am, we're the ones asking the questions. You're going to be just answering at this point, okay? So let us proceed that way, and then we can move forward. We can ask one of those questions to you, all right?
In my opinion, no, ma'am. No further questions.
Mr. Seaman?
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Bartle?
Well, first one for staff. So if this fence wasn't here at all, somebody wanted to put a fence in, where exactly would it go?
We interpret the zoning resolution to mean on corner lots, we give a little leeway. You can have it on the plane of your house to the property line. The zoning resolution in black and white says 50% up the sidewall of the house. But we consider, since you have about a 50% reduced wall, we consider that to be to the property lines. So in no instance can a privacy fence be permitted that is in front of the plane of the house on any side, into the front yard unless it's approved by this board.
So the small yellow line that's in front of the car would be allowed.
Can you go back to the
Yeah.
picture of that? Perfect, thank you.
It would, yeah. That line, in extending, if you follow my cursor,
Yeah.
to the property line.
Yeah.
And I did explain that to the applicants as well as an option. And the reason that would be allowed is you would have a line of sight for the sidewalk and the road, and also it would not be as intense. Part of the problem, even if you put a mirror up, is this is pretty intense. It blocks the line of sight for the neighborhood. It doesn't allow somebody coming through the neighborhood to see the trees and see down the yards, and extending into the front yard,
But it could be a different type of fence.
it can be in that part of the yard. It can be a wrought iron fence, it can be a split rail, or it can be a Kentucky board.
Only not at 6 feet.
At 4 feet max, 50% open.
Up to the sidewalk?
Yes, yeah, up to the property line, yeah.
So, I have a question.
Oh. And at this point is the board, so, sorry. It's just, I gotta keep things in check.
Then a privacy fence, obviously, to the west, on the rear property line is allowed.
But it cannot protrude
house.
past the front plane of the house. But yes, you're correct.
But a
Even
variance-
along that back fence line.
Yeah, yep, anything, if there's a front plane of the house, nothing in front of it for the entire length of the property. And there are worse scenarios such as pie-shaped lots and lots that are houses that are oriented diagonally, where the lots are even more cut up.
But if they did, in the future, want a privacy fence on the back rear property line
Uh-huh.
where that neighbor is,
It could go to the point where the blue cursor is on the screen.
but if they wanted it to go to the sidewalk, it would be a variance.
Yes. It would be less of a line of sight issue if it was just that line,
Correct.
because you could see, if you follow my cursor, right when you're starting to back out, you could see down the sidewalk.
Well, and since this variance, whether it's approved or not, stays with the property, even though they don't park in that driveway.
That's correct.
5 years from now could, or 10 years from now.
Yeah, any type of approval,
Whenever they move.
correct, sorry.
Yeah.
Any type of approval would need the driveway to be gone because of the unbelievable risk. And I did inform yeah, if you guys approved it, yeah, we would have to make sure nobody ever parked there again. And I did explain to the applicant, now that they have been notified of the line of sight issue, if they leave it and something, God forbid, something bad does happen, it's a huge liability for them as well.
Yeah, if somebody gets hit.
Now that you've heard all this,
As a matter of fact, if insurance caught wind of it, they wouldn't even have insurance on their house.
No other questions?
Thank you.
All right, my questions, so one of the, are you amenable to moving the fence back off of the sidewalk?
Can you go point on the screen?
I countered it, like the corner part, and made it flat.
Angled?
Yeah, angled it out at the end so you can see past it.
Starting at the front of the red car and angling back?
Yeah, you can go up there and approach, and then we'll have to reiterate it back into the microphone if you don't care.
Yeah, instead of having corner right here, have it come across flat.
My question is, and if you'll come back here, we've seen what you did there, so I want to make sure what you say is heard. My question is, would you be amenable to put it back to the plane of the property, to the house?
that's the
That's
yard
cheating us out
gone.
of the
So at the
yard.
end of the day, if our
No,
property
straight.
line is at the end of the home, meaning where the front of the vehicle is, if we take our fence back, our yard is gone. So that means the end towards the sidewalk isn't our property. That means y'all will come cut the grass and everything because that's not our property, right?
No, what it means is the front yard. And so unfortunately, that's what happens on a corner lot. You're at a disadvantage because that is not considered a backyard because it's facing a front street, so therefore it's a front yard.
We're not the only ones, it's other fences.
I understand that, but you're here and not others, and so if someone else showed up, we would be telling them the same exact thing.
We'll see about the other ones that's in Colerain as well. because
So-
it's people that has privacy fences on the corner and that goes to the same place we go, and it starts from the beginning of their home, meaning the front yard, and come
go
down
all the way
and all the way around. We're at the backyard and coming around, meaning we have people at the end of at the end of Coogan, right there, Colerain Township still, their home, they have a privacy fence coming from the front, come down, cover all over, and they're at the end house. That's, no, okay. So what you expect us to do? Because
Well, ma'am, you're not giving me you're not giving me the opportunity to talk, first of all. So, and this is really the time that I ask you a question,
Okay.
and you respond to the question. That's where we are, and I'm allowing you a lot of levity, because this is like a court. This is a semi-judicial, okay? And so you need to afford us the respect that we deserve. If we've listened to you, now it's time for us to go and ask some questions. I'm trying to work with you, and I'm trying to help you out. Try to read between the lines here, because the way it is now, it's not going to be acceptable. So I'm asking if you can move the fence back. I propose, or would like to propose to the board, that they're able to keep a privacy fence along the whole back so that then they're protected against the neighbor behind them,
To the point where the blue cursor is?
to the blue cursor. But not have the fence going
But the fence,
along,
they're allowed to have a fence.
The fact that,
it's still considered part of the front yard,
But he said there can be fences in the.
yeah,
front
there
yard,
can be
but
fences.
but not a privacy fence. I want to allow them a
They
privacy
want a
fence.
fence for their child.
I'm not discounting
I
that.
know, but you keep saying no fence, but
I'm saying no,
that's what they're
I'm
hearing.
saying they're not allowed to have a privacy fence
right.
in that front half. I'm saying we allow them that as part of this compromise so that they can protect themselves from the neighbor that's
I
behind
know,
them.
but the other fence could be,
It could be a shorter
approved
fence.
fence.
Yeah, it could be a shorter fence, but,
Yeah.
or they move it back to
Right.
the plane of the property.
and like all the other neighbors have, I mean, dogs are all over the place, so if they're gonna jump neighbor's fence, they're gonna jump your fence, if you were to go down to a 4-foot fence. That's just the fact of life.
Yeah, and I've seen them jump 6 fences, so it's not, that's really an irrelevant. I'm trying to give you some privacy from what you've just claimed as the neighbor behind you being a problem. So that's part of it. And the same part, we gotta address the safety issue. Whether you're in the driveway or not, it is a problem driving down the street and potentially you not living there any longer, and the next person that lives there comes out of a driveway and now they've run into somebody because they can't see past the fence. That's an issue that we foresee. We can't foresee the future net 100%, but we can do what we can to prevent it. So my question would be is if you can move that back to the plane there.
Out of our fence, our yard.
then.
That's
That's
cheating
your
us out our
property.
yard.
That's your property.
It is still your front yard, ma'am.
He got all that junk back there in his yard, trailers and stuff, that don't make no sense. He got junk back there, junk trucks, that looks tacky.
Okay, but I'm also suggesting that when you're ready, you can put a privacy fence all the way to the corner of your back and part of the front yard. So I'm gonna go address the fence, just so I can make it clear.
That's cheating us out of our
Yeah,
yard.
like, that's not right, like. We don't even, that's not even yard back there, sir. That's not yard back there for us.
He said that line's not
That's
supposed
not
to
a
be there.
yard back there for us.
You don't know
So
that?
at the end of the day, if we,
This property line right here?
yeah, the property line meaning going back, yeah, so we can't see the back neighbor, yeah.
That's what I'm
I
suggesting.
understand, but-
The neighbor that has the fan or whatever the situation, now you've afforded some privacy. That's what I'm trying to suggest as an alternative solution. Otherwise, the whole thing has to go away. I'm trying to work with you and you're not seeing,
That's cheating us
What
out
I'm
of
trying
our
to
yard,
say.
we feel like that's cheating us.
So you,
but honestly, it's illegal. It's a front yard.
so is it illegal for us because we will be the ones driving out the driveway.
Ma'am, it's
Meaning
illegal
if
for
something
anyone in
happened, it would
Colerain
be on
Township
us.
because
It
we have a
wouldn't be
zo-
on you or
Ma'am.
nobody for Colerain. It would be on us.
Ma'am.
We're the liability. I'm just saying, if we hit somebody, we're in liability. You're not gonna get in trouble. They're not gonna get in
Ma'am.
trouble. We're gonna get in trouble.
Ma'am.
So I'm confused on that. I'm just saying, I'm confused on it.
No, you're not understanding. There's zoning ordinances and there's laws, and that is a law.
They got too much to be worried about. Police shooting people in the house.
All right, I'm done talking because obviously
I think perhaps we should move forward and vote on what's before us.
Exactly.
They can circle back with staff perhaps and come up with a
Solution.
reasonable solution.
Thank you. Would anyone here on the board like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to deny the variance.
I'll second.
Motion and second's been made. Any discussion? I see none. Roll call vote.
Mr. Bartolt,
Yes.
Mr. Sido,
Yes.
Mr. Thiemann,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes. Your variance has been denied.
But do you want to explain how they can? Maybe not.
Okay.
Next up.
Next case is, sorry, let me get my bearings back. BZA 25-31.
31.
Okay.
Applicant is requesting a conditional use approval for a daycare center in a single unit residential zoning district. The location of the property is at 3261 West Galbraith Road. Does the staff have a presentation?
I do. Okay, our next case tonight is BZA 25-31. This is a use variance in the SUR Single Unit Residential Zoning District. The applicant is Hylo Render. The applicant requests approval to operate a daycare center. The daycare centers are not permitted or conditional uses within this zoning district under the township's comprehensive use table. The property lies about 150 feet from Colerain Avenue, the mixed south district, where daycare centers are permitted by right. Excuse me. Okay. The proposed use is more intense than the previous use, and we'll get to that in just a second, or other uses that are allowed by right in this area. The applicant has stated the intent to address the local shortage of accessible, affordable childcare options for nearby families. In the letter of justification, the applicant emphasizes the site's accessibility to residential neighborhoods, major roadways, and public transportation, as well as the applicant's commitment to meeting state licensing and safety requirements. So if we zoom in, this is the property in question. This was a dry cleaner for many decades and has recently been a clothing store. The star shows where the store is located, so it's in the middle of this photo. Now, this is one of the most mixed-use areas we have in the entire township. Across the street, we have single-family residential. Next door, we have single-family residential. Across the street, on the other side, we have multifamily residential. But then we have a heavy commercial district, and this is actually illustrated almost perfectly by this white line. You see some houses on the right, but there is really a dividing line between where it becomes very residential, even though Galbraith is a main thoroughfare. This is the building in question. You can see where it said, you can still see where it was gross spec cleaners. This is the site, an aerial overview. And I would like to explain why I believe it's my opinion that the proposed use increases the intensity on the site. So daycare centers generate significant vehicle activity, which is concentrated during short peak periods. This results in short bursts of high traffic intensity, which often overlaps the school and commuter hours. So that's increased traffic. Parents entering and exiting the site often park temporarily, or they might idle their car while escorting children, and that creates frequent turning movements and potential congestion near the access points on the property. Outdoor play area, staff transitions, and loading activities do introduce periodic noise and movement that's not typically present in a retail setting, and childcare facilities require multiple employees on site simultaneously to meet state ratios, leading to higher parking demand and daily occupancy compared to small-scale retail that was there before. And that might only be staffed by one or two people, that retail. So for that reason, it's staff's opinion that the proposed use does increase the intensity upon the site. So when you increase intensity of use, that must be mitigated. If you turn to the screen, you can see the sign that has been on the site for probably 50 years, I'd guess, several decades, certainly. This is not characteristic of that side of that line I showed you. There are no more pole signs as it gets more residential. This pole sign is much taller than we currently allow or that we even allowed under our 2006 zoning resolution. This predates when the township actually had zoning. So this sign I would classify as very intense for the spot that it's in. It's also in the Hamilton County right-of-way, so it's not even on the property. This sign would never be allowed to be built today. So when we look at the raised intensity by the new use of the daycare center, we could mitigate that by removing the sign. There's other ways we typically mitigate increased intensity. That would be requiring landscaping and parking, requiring a 15-foot landscape buffer, landscape islands in the parking. But this site is such a non-conforming site that doing any of that would render the site virtually unleasable. This picture shows the character of the area in a way. This is looking toward Colerain Avenue. You can see this big established tree gives a hint to the area and the established nature of the houses. There are not too many areas in Colerain where you can find such established houses and such a residential feel in such a busy area, and that really leads to the mixed use on that dividing line, which is about where that tree is. So the applicant has argued and will argue that this is just 150 feet from the mixed district, and it is, but it is on that side where you're entering into more of a residential area, even if it's a busy road. So the zoning issue at hand, as I mentioned, is table 3.1.4a, comprehensive use permissions. The daycare centers are prohibited in the SUR single unit residential zoning district. So the staff findings, again, based on the Duncan factors, it's staff's opinion the request itself is substantial in nature because it is in a residential area. It's staff's opinion the property owner who purchased the property did not have knowledge of the zoning. That one's a little wonky because this is being requested by a tenant. And it's staff's opinion the spirit and intent behind the zoning resolution would be observed and substantial justice would be done by granting, with proper condition of approval, the requested variance. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. I do not believe that we can approve it and not mitigate the raised intensity, so these are the two conditions. Prior to the installation of the approved use, the pole sign situated within the public right-of-way shall be fully removed in its entirety, including all sign components, cabinets, and structural supports. And due to site constraints, I would like the board to waive the master parking plan requirement. If we require the master parking plan, which should be required, upon this parking lot, this business will have nowhere to park any cars. So I recommend approval with those two conditions. Mr. Roberto?
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Want to come and state your name and address for the record, please?
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Hyla Render. I am here to respectfully request an approval to operate a licensed child care center at 3261 West Galbraith Road. And opposed to the sign, the owner is willing to remove the sign from the area. He did say it was maybe 40 years old, so they are will remove the sign in a process to actually get that removed. Also, as far as the parking, there are at least 8 parking spaces in front of the building. Along the side of the building is at least about 6 to 7 more parking spaces. I also have a drawing of where the playground area would be adjacent to the back of the building, fenced in, secure area. Staff members, operating staff would maybe be 4 to 5 operating staff that will be there majority of the day. They will not be coming and leaving. As far as parents and drop off and pick up, there's actually enough spaces for staff to park on the side of the building. The staff that I actually inquired that will be coming there, only 2 of them drive as of right now. Next to me is a dentist office. Next to them is a chiropractor. Beyond that becomes Biggs Driving School. Beyond that becomes the turn-in for the skating place. And then we have Thornton's gas station. So I feel that putting a child care business right there will really help the community. Residential is across the street. but along where the business where I would like to put the licensed childcare business is all businesses. Even prior past, going further past me is also an open lot where I think another business is trying to be built or trying to go. So I'm just trying to see if I can get this approved. We're gonna bring a lot of jobs to the community. I just think it'll bring a lot of jobs to the community. So I did a little bit of research. So Colerain is about a little bit under 60,000 residents. About 12,000 of the residents are children. So with the square footage of this building, I may be able to hold 20 to 30 children after I get this blueprint drawn up as far as classrooms with the state and everything like that. I also can provide jobs to youth, teens, for summer programs. So I just think this would be a thriving business for the community.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anyone else speaking for? I see there's two names on this list. You planning on speaking, ma'am?
Redmond. I'm owner and operator of Nature and Nurture Preschool and Day School located on Western Hills. We are in Cincinnati Public School District, so we're not in Colerain. However, I can speak with the validity of how important child care centers are to our communities. The in and out traffic from parents is very minimum. We took a poll the last 3 weeks of how long it takes for a parent to drop off and pick up in as little over 3 minutes. So that is, they're not idling. Ms. Render will also put in her policies, you can't leave the car idle, so that they will have the car turned off, so it creates a safe place for children and also for people not to be able to come and steal cars or things like that. So we'll have policies in place for that. She'll have policies in place for that. The drop off and pickup time is within business hours. She's going to open up at 6 a.m. There's not a lot of traffic at that time. She's going to close after the rush hour. There's not a lot of traffic then, so we'll be able to reduce the amount of traffic. It's not going to be a bunch of traffic with the schools and the actual working traffic. So the operating hours are before and after those times. Just wanted to add.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I see no one else signed up. Does we have anyone else that wants to speak for or against this appeal?
I'm sorry.
No, I'm asking if anyone else wants to speak for or against this appeal. I see none. Can I have a motion to close the public portion?
I make a motion to close the public portion.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second's been made. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Bartolt,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Mr. Thiemann,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Thiemann, you want to start us off with any questions?
Yeah, just a couple. I have a question for the applicant. Ma'am, do you own the property right now?
No, so I don't own that property right now, but I've been in childcare over 22 years. I actually own another smaller facility over on the west side.
And what's
of
in
town.
there now?
Now, so it's actually empty space now. Yeah, so they've been gone out of there for a while.
So you're trying to buy it
Yes.
potentially?
Yes, potentially, yes.
And then, have you applied for licensing through the state?
So I haven't applied for licensing yet because I wanted to try to get this clear because licensing is a fee. To apply for the application, to actually have my blueprints and everything drawn up and ready to go. So I wanted to get the approval from Colerain Township first before I reached out to licensing to try to get their approval, which I don't think it would be hard to get their approval, as long as it's zoned and zoned for childcare. So this was my starting point.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Bartle?
Well, I guess for staff, if the aerial that shows the parking lot,
Yeah.
now the building that's very close to it, to the left, That
barn,
obviously is vacant, but I mean, I don't know where the property, are those two buildings on the same lot?
Yes, this is a non-conforming lot where there's two primary structures.
And that doesn't have any impact
Yeah.
that we have to consider?
You can consider if you feel like that the intensity of the site is too high. It's okay to have a slightly intense site if you mitigate it with other
Yeah.
factors. That building is, in my professional opinion, in disrepair.
It is.
So if the applicant does buy the building, that could be torn down if we ask?
The, since she doesn't currently own the building,
I mean, she doesn't own it.
could be a roadblock to,
Yeah.
if she doesn't end up owning it. But I would say that the demolition of that building is imminent. We don't have plans for it yet, but I don't see how that building could be saved with the issues that it has.
Yeah, well, I don't think to get her childcare license, I don't think the state of Ohio would look at a half-collapsed building and think it's an unsafe, deny her. Well, it's all on the same property.
Oh, it is, I'm sorry, it is that, but no, not at all. My other businesses exist next to it.
Okay, we'll be asking questions of you in a minute. Hold on a second.
So, anyway, but as far as parking, this thing about the master parking plan.
Yep.
In your professional opinion, you think they can make this work without having bottlenecks and traffic jams?
Yes, but as a urban planner, I believe that we have way too much parking anyway. So my view of enough parking is different. But as a business, I believe that they can make the parking work on
Yeah.
the site.
Could the applicant come up? If parents are dropping off students or picking up, how do you see that happening? Like they just pull into the front, very front?
They'll pull into the front area, and I actually will have signs for drop-off and pick-off location points.
Okay,
And it's enough parking in the front for dropping off and picking up.
that's deep enough. I mean, I have more than, I don't know how many cars could be there at one time.
All the time, so yes.
Okay. All right, that's all, thanks.
Mr. Saito?
No questions.
Ma'am, you can come back up, and I've got a couple questions for you. Is the intent for you actually to purchase the property, or are you just going to be a
Yes,
tenant?
I would like to in a few years.
Okay, so right now, you're just going to be a tenant?
Yes, right now.
Okay, so there is no agreement for a purchase on this particular piece of
No,
property?
not right now, but the owner and I have a very, very good relationship. He actually currently owns the building that I'm in, and I've been there for 12 years, and I've been knowing the owner for 15 years.
Okay. And then you said you do have plans for an outdoor play area that's going to be in the back along the fence, is that?
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, does the back side of this property also have, is residential, has some rent tenants in there?
No,
So there are no tenants in the back building?
no.
Okay, there used to be, so that's new to me. My concern is the adjacent barn as it being a safe space for your kid gets out of, child that gets out of the play area and now he's in that.
It'll be a safety fence. It'll be a very well-monitored safety area. 2 teachers out there at all times.
Okay. And then as far as the right-of-way, the whole front is actually Hamilton County.
So if you look at where it says 3261 on the house and the next door,
Yeah.
this portion was a house, and in, I believe, the 80s, they stuck this facade on it, and there's 2 more like that across the street.
Yes.
When they did that, they made the front of the facade right on the property line, and it's something that we would never permit today, but it is non-conforming because it's been consistently in use.
Right.
But yes, to answer your question, it's all Hamilton County.
And it's a 2-story building, right?
In the back
The
of it.
back portion is 2
The front
stories.
of it is just a
Well, I
single.
mean, what was the original house?
The original house was 2 stories.
And it's vacant up there, I guess?
Yeah, and this is my layout for the bottom half, if you will.
Oh,
like to take a
well,
look.
Only if you want to submit it as, we would be, hold on to it then at that point, it's because it's evidence.
We have the handwritten version in here.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's this adequate, that's sufficient?
Yes, that-
And so you plan on using the residence in the back as part of the daycare, not just the storefront?
just the storefront part of it.
So the building in the back, is that going to be a rental space then?
I'm not sure as of yet. The business part is just mainly what I'm a little bit concerned with right now. The back can just.
But you as a tenant, is the
No,
whole
I'm not
building
gonna
yours?
move there or anything.
No, is the whole building yours rather than just the storefront? I'm trying to get some clarity on what the daycare is.
Lisa, is she renting the whole building?
No, Mr. Roberto, I've been in the building recently.
It's just the store.
In the last 6 months, the front storefront portion is very small. I think
Correct.
she misunderstands because they're connected. They're not separate. Like you walk through a door and it's a big room back.
Is this,
Yeah, so
is
the
is
big
the
one-
submitted sketch the whole existing original house?
So the blue house and the storefront are connected and it's one big space.
No, so it's upstairs, it's separate entrances. You cannot get through from the daycare to the residence by any means.
Upstairs?
Upstairs, not at
Yeah,
all.
that's fine.
But the first floor, this portion is part of it. Look, can you look at the screen? This portion is part of your daycare.
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
correct.
Yes.
Upstairs, there used to be residents there. She's telling me there's no one up there now?
Used to be, yeah.
There's no tenants there currently?
No. From upstairs to downstairs at all.
Okay.
Is that, I mean, if the landlord rented the upstairs out once they're in, is that an issue?
That's
with
what I'm
anybody?
trying to get clarify as to what she's actually renting.
Yeah.
Because here's what I foresee. You have a daycare downstairs and your landlord goes and rents to somebody that's not appropriate upstairs. Now you've got a risk for your children. So if you're not encapsulating the entire space, that's a concern to me. So that's what I'm trying to understand what you're actually being a tenant of, whether it's just the lower level or if it's the entire building, if it's the whole parcel. That's what we're trying to get some clarification.
in place where if you have those on your record, you cannot live within a certain square footage or space or.
Well, I'm going to sadly inform you, there's one just down the corner then from you. There's a sex offender down the street. So I don't know if that's going to disqualify you for doing a child care, but it's probably 6 houses away.
I don't know if this will align, but I'm pretty sure it will. So my landlord and I have a great relationship, and I'm pretty sure that he would talk to me about a tenant going upstairs before he just lets anyone up there.
But we can't rely on that because your landlord's not been very good to Colerain Township because he's left that pigsty of a built barn there for years that we've tried to get him to tear it down or correct. So that's putting him in bad light with me because I happen to live down the street and I see it every day. So,
He was actually here last night with me with the blueprint guy and the whole show that sort of went on last night. So we are back today, because either I was here on the wrong night and they rescheduled. So he was here but couldn't make it tonight, and I was hoping that he would be here to speak on.
yeah, and so that's, I mean, for me, my concern would be, if you're only renting the downstairs, you don't know what's going to be on the upstairs. So that's irrelevant because really we'll go back to what the germane is it's a daycare
Yes.
for that facility, and I really was just trying to understand what was that facility, what part of it's going to be daycare.
Yeah, okay.
And I would guess the licensing authority will double check the,
Correct.
this is a zoning, this is a,
Fire department and everything.
right.
Right. So I mean, all that stuff will where it's ferret itself out. I just wanted to see what space this was really encapsulating. All right. I have no further questions. Does anybody want to circle back around? Okay. Anybody want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the variance with the addition of the two conditions. Number one, removing the existing pole sign in its entirety, and to waive the master parking plan.
All right, we have a second. A motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that. Did we ask if there was anyone in opposition? Maybe I missed that.
We already did close the public portion.
Very good.
We voted on it.
I'll second that.
Okay. And now we're at the discussion point. So I have a question on, why are we waiving the master plan? Is just to save them a fee, or what's that?
No. I believe if we impose the newly established master parking plan upon this non-conforming site, that it would not be possible to do. Because if you look at the fact that they have nothing in front of the building that is not on their lot, they have no circulation throughout the lot, and the lot is non-conforming. It's been this way for decades. I just believe that it would be very burdensome on this property, whereas it would work on most commercial properties. I thought that was a trade-off for them lowering the intensity with removing the sign, but also we're raising the intensity. I think they can make it work is basically.
Okay, motion and second been made. I just was asking for
Okay, thank you.
clarification. No further discussions? Roll call vote?
Mr. Bartolt,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow, Mr. Thiemann,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
No.
So when you have 2 yeses and 2 nos, it fails because there's no majority. So your request has been denied. Sorry.
Thank you guys for your time. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
Sorry we couldn't make it work for you. That brings us to the next case. BZA 25-33. The applicant is requesting a variance that will allow the signage that exceeds the allowed height in the Avenue Mixed Central zoning districts of 8810 Colerain Avenue. Does the staff have a presentation?
I do. BZA 25-33 is 8810 Colerain Avenue. That's in the AMC Avenue Mixed Central zoning district. The applicant is Eric Williams, and the property owner is DWSB LLC, which is Jeff Weiler Hyundai. The applicant requests a variance to permit a monument sign exceeding the maximum height allowed in the Avenue Mixed Central AMC zoning district and to approve on-site wayfinding sign for customer navigation. The proposed monument sign is approximately 8 feet tall, 9 inches tall, and a total sign area of 32 square feet. And that's the Hyundai logo only. Obviously, when you have an 8-foot tall sign, the entire structure is more than 32 square feet, but the logo portion is 32 square feet. Zoning regulations limit monument sign height to 5 feet and allow wayfinding signs on only lots that are 5 acres or greater. The applicant indicates the signage design is based on Hyundai's national branding, and they will be relocating, if approved, the sign from another facility where taller signage was permitted. The request includes coordinated wayfinding signs to direct customers to sales and service areas within the site. These are low in intensity and intended for internal circulation and present at virtually every car dealership in Colerain Township. The site improvements include materials and landscaping enhancements to align with the township corridor design objectives and maintain consistency with nearby auto dealerships. Its staff's opinion the signage scale and design are compatible with surrounding commercial corridor, and they do maintain a low-profile monument sign, and that's consistent with Colerain Township's aesthetic goals, and also consistent and / less intense than other auto dealership signs. So we're zooming in on the site here. This is in front of the Furniture Fair across the street from the Home Depot / former Chuck E. Cheese. Used to be a Ford dealership. They're remodeling the building. I'm sure we've all seen it. The star is over where the site is. You can see Farbach Warner across the street. And this is a zoom in on the site. I put a little sign icon down here that's hard to see, but that's where the sign will go if approved. So this is a picture. It doesn't give a lot of context. Ms. Petty took this yesterday, but it just shows where we're at in construction, and the sign would, if approved, would be out in front of the building. So now we get to the actual sign itself. So this is the sign that would be brought over from the other dealership. It shows the square footage. It shows an average person next to it. And it would be on the 24-inch stone or masonry foundation. And the applicant, when they give their presentation, does have a picture of the stone that would be used on the base. And this is the directional, non-illuminated, single-sided wayfinding sign that would be on the site, just to help people navigate through the lot. And we have a map that was included in the packet that shows where the pylon would be and where the other signage on the site would be. And I aligned it with actual aerial imagery of what's there now. So you can see the sign would be roughly in the same place the Ford dealership sign was in. So the zoning issue at hand is from table 4.8.3b, that's the wayfinding sign, and 4.8.3d, the monument sign. Wayfinding signs are only permitted on lots 5+ acres. Monument signs shall be no taller than 5 feet tall. These are the Duncan Factor staff findings. It's staff's opinion the request itself is substantial in nature. I consider every sign that's taller than the maximum to be substantial given Colerain Township's history with signage. It's staff's opinion that the property owner who purchased the property did have knowledge of the zoning, and it's staff's opinion that the spirit and intent behind the zoning resolution would be observed and substantial justice would be done by granting the requested variance. So staff recommendation is approval with 2 conditions. Number 1, the base of the monument sign shall comply with the design standards of section 4.8.4A3 of Colerain Township zoning resolution. The base shall be constructed of brick, stone, wood, or other visually similar natural materials and maintain a consistent width and length from the ground to the sign cabinet and not exceed 24 inches in height. And number 2, a minimum of 5-foot landscape radius shall be installed and maintained around the base of the sign in accordance with Table 4.8.3D. Landscaping shall consist of a mix of shrubs, ornamental grasses, and ground covering to provide year-round visual interest and a finished appearance. There is currently concrete or asphalt there that would be replaced with landscaping if approved. So staff recommendation is approval. Mr. Roberto.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Come give me your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Brad Johnson. I work for Tri-State Signs at 7710 Sutton Place. I'm here on behalf of Eric Williams, who is also an employee at Tri-State Signs. And we're obviously acting as agents for Jeff Weiler. And the original plans have been modified so that with Mr. Peters saying, believing it would be approved with the modifications. And so I'm just basically here to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else here speaking for or against this appeal? Ms. Janice, you signed up. Do you plan on speaking or asking any questions? And that's the one you signed up for, so I just want to make sure that.
Oh, I had no idea what
Okay. So you didn't have any questions? Thank you. We have a motion to close the public portion then.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Bartelt,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Mr. Thiemann,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes. Ms. Sato, you have any questions for the applicant?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. Mr. Thiemann.
I have no questions, thank you.
Mr. Bartle.
No questions.
I have a question for staff. So just so I'm clear, we're almost doubling the size of the sign?
5 feet to 8 feet, correct. If you can,
9, so I mean, we'll get very specific. It's almost 9 feet.
yeah, plus, and then there's the 2-foot base.
So you're literally doubling the height of the sign.
Yes, and the only reason that I recommended approval, because, you know, I think signs are too tall in the township, and we're trying to reverse that, is because if you look at all the other car dealerships, it would have a competitive disadvantage, I believe, compared to the car dealerships specifically, given that their signs are so tall.
Well, then.
I get it. I
We
agree.
need to change the zoning resolution to say that car dealership signs are allowed to be taller, because that's, I mean, you've straddled us with a rule in Colerain Township that we were supposed to follow, and then you're changing it. So I mean, we got a problem with that. So
Okay. I agree with you.
and so now you're putting the board in an awkward position to go ahead and make a compromise that now can be a precedent for the next person and the next person. So I'm enough said. I have no questions for the applicant. Do we have a motion to approve or deny?
I'm making a motion to approve the variance as written.
Okay, motion's been made. Do we have a second?
I'll second. That includes the conditions, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so motion's been made to approve with the conditions, and a second has been made. Any discussion? I hear none. Roll call vote.
Mr. Bartelt,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Mr. Thiemann,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
No. It's passed, so you move on and get with the zoning administration and they'll tell you what to do next.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. All right, so I have unfinished business as being none.
Correct.
The approval of the minutes for the September 24th meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mr. Bartelt,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Mr. Thiemann,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes. Our next meeting is November the 12th. Do we have a case?
We have several, yes.
Okay. Any administrative matters?
I have none.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second's been made. Discussion? Roll call vote.
Who was the second? Because it sounded like both at the same
Mr.
time.
Thiemann got it.
Okay. Mr. Bartelt,
Yes.
Mr. Sydow,
Yes.
Mr. Thiemann,
Yes.
Mr. Roberto.
Yes, we are adjourned.